Edgar Berlanga. He's calling out Jake the Snake Paul, known as the problem child. He's looking for a $40 million payday. That's what's being reported. Edgar Berlanga manufactures a Jake Paul mega fight on Netflix? Could it be possible? Could he talk his way into a fight? Sort of like how Rolly Romero did Gervonta Tank Davis? The boxing world woke up to a shockwave on social media when super middleweight contender Edgar Berlanga officially took matters into his own hands. Desperate for the biggest payday of his career, the Puerto Rican power puncher posted a slick promotional graphic on his X account depicting himself and Jake Paul squared off for a catchweight bout streaming on Netflix. The only problem is the fight doesn't actually exist. He's out of his rocker. He's out of his mind. The fight is not real, but in his head, it is.
He need to leave that dope alone.
Neither Netflix or Jake Paul nor Most Valuable Promotions have signed off on the bout. Yet Berlanga's brilliant piece of self-marketing has the entire combat sports community asking, what happens if Jake Paul actually picks up the phone?
Hello?
We need to ask ourselves that, ladies and gentlemen. What if this dude really pick up the phone?
Well, then we're shit out of luck.
Why Berlanga is chasing the problem child for that paper, for that money. This isn't the first time that Edgar Berlanga has hunted the YouTube star. In late 2025, when Jake Paul was scrambling for a replacement opponent after a Gervonta Davis matchup fell through, Berlanga released an official aggressive video shouting, "Pick up the effing phone, man! Stop playing!" Paul ultimately went in a different direction. A disastrous December 2025 bout against heavyweight titan Anthony AJ Joshua that left Jake Paul with a brutally broken jaw. Added it, jaw just broken, looking like Samara got him off the ring. The bag? A Netflix mega fight against Paul could net Berlanga a career high $40 million. Talk about the $40 million Netflix stays winning. The exposure? Fighting on a platform with over 65 million viewers beat any standard boxing broadcast. The momentum? Berlanga is fresh off a July 2026 stoppage victory over Stephen Butler at Madison Square Garden and wants to strike while the iron is hot. We have to say that Madison Square Garden like Jackie Chan on Rush Hour. But let's go to the short list. And is Berlanga next on the hit list of Jake Paul? Well, let's see. Jake Paul's potential return opponents. Tommy Fury. That's a highly anticipated rematch, which some people in the first fight thought Jake Paul won that bout. Tommy Fury, we spouted him, so that'll be a good one. Edgar Berlanga is second on the list, and they're saying that's a fan's chaotic favorite. So the fans want to see the Edgar Berlanga versus Jake Paul. They saying that's an even matchup. But what about the legacy UK option? Chris Eubank Jr. Now, how y'all think Chris Eubank Jr. feeling right now? I'm like, hold on. Jake Paul bet not call me out. I'm a real fighter, but I will fight him for that paper. And we all know Chris Eubank Jr., he'll look across the table and say, I'll whoop your ass. I don't even have to be 100% to beat you.
If I had a bad leg and a bad arm, I would still take you out. I would still take you out. So that's why I say I need to be 50% or better to beat him.
That's going to be Chris Eubank Jr. talking to Jake the Snake Paul, known as the problem child. Who else is on this list? The wild card pay-per-view monster, Ryan Garcia. Jake Paul versus Ryan Garcia in a mega fight. Or another heavyweight option, a crossover dream, Francis Ngannou. What about Francis Ngannou versus a Jake Paul? That's the last one on Jake Paul's supposed short list. Now, the tail of the tape, if Edgar Berlanga was to get this fight with Jake Paul, well, let's break it down. Coming to the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, he stands at 6 feet 1 inch tall with a 73-inch arm reach. He fights at a super middleweight limit of 168 pounds. He comes to the ring with a professional boxing record consisting of 24 victories, opposite 2 defeats, with 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing yours truly, Boricua's own Edgar Berlanga. And his adversary, fighting out of the red corner, he comes to the ring standing 6 feet 1 inch tall with a 76-inch arm reach, and he fights at cruiser 200 pounds. He comes to this ring with a professional boxing record consisting of 12 victories, opposite 2 defeats, with 7 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Jake the Snake Problem Child Paul. That was the tail of the tape. Berlanga brings legitimate world-class experience, having gone 12 rounds with boxing kingpin Saul Canelo Alvarez. He possesses devastating, terrifying power in both hands, and pedextrous. I whoop your hand with either. I whoop your ass with either hand. Messing up my bars. Jake, despite his recent knockout loss to Anthony Joshua, holds a slight reach advantage and naturally fights at a heavier weight class, cruiser and heavyweight. Now, the verdict. Who wins? If this fight happens at a catchweight, Edgar Berlanga wins by devastating mid-round knockout. Yes, he will knock out Jake Paul. While Jake Paul deserves immense credit for an athletic evolution and survival instinct, Berlanga is a completely different animal than the retired MMA fighters Jake Paul built his career on. The power mismatch. Berlanga's pressure and punching power will melt Paul's guard. The experience gap. Unlike Tyson or older combat sports athletes, Berlanga is a prime active 29-year-old top-tier contender. The chin factor. We know AJ just broke it into 2. After suffering a broken jaw, Paul's ability to take world-class power will be severely tested. Berlanga will hurt that vulnerability from the opening bell, and expect Jake Paul to have his shit wired. Edgar Berlanga gonna turn into Reed Dollars because he gonna push his shit back like Easy with the hat off.
Push your shit back like Easy with the hat off.
With this viciousness and nastiness will transpire in that ring. Edgar Berlanga is sounding like Hades talking to Jake Paul.
You are specks of dust beneath our fingernails. Your very breath is a gift from Olympus. You have insulted powers beyond your comprehension.
Who are you?
I am Hades.